No, you're not crazy. I see it too. It's all over social media.
Broken down over time, the LGBT population of America seems to be roughly doubling every generation.
And I know what's on your mind. Where is family? Tradition? I mean, where did God go? Is this it? Has liberalism completely executed conservatism? If you don't want to stick around to see the full picture, then here's a summary of the video. Not yet. Yes, I know, that's a terrible answer. But let's find out what it means together. Let me tell you the full story because it will change how you see this topic forever. Okay, first order of business. What is liberalism? And I promise this will be super quick. According to Wikipedia, liberalism is a political and moral philosophy based on the rights of the individual, liberty, consent of the governed, political equality, rights to private property, and equality before the law. Now, since the goal of this video is to address why liberalism is going viral, let's check out what conservatism is all about. Quoting Wikipedia here again, conservatism is a cultural, social, political philosophy and ideology which seeks to promote and preserve traditional institutions, customs, and values. Long story short, liberalism is focused on freedom while conservatism is all about tradition. Now, I don't know what you like or dislike, but I can guarantee that freedom is something you definitely value. And this is it. This is the main selling point of liberalism. The promise of freedom, the promise to live life on your own terms. Now, on the other hand, we have conservatism promising that you'll live a life guided by tradition, customs, and values? Okay, random person on the internet. Before I keep going, let's take a deep breath and let me explain myself before you go right in that comment. Because what I'm about to say is controversial to say the least. Based on what we have so far, I feel like you would agree with me when I say what liberalism is promising is better. Because I can choose to live life based on traditions and customs with the added value of having freedom to change my mind later. Which, come on, you have to agree that's a pretty damn good deal. Now, here's the issue. Since liberalism is so good, why are there so many conservative people in this world? Even though you and me just agreed that being free to live by tradition is better than having it forced on you. Okay, before we continue, let's do a quick recap for all the goldfish in the back. What we're trying to do here is to find out why liberalism is going viral. So far, we learned what liberalism and conservatism both mean and why liberals like liberalism so much. Now we have to find an answer to our question and also clarify why is everyone not liberal already. Okay, here it goes. For starters, let's draw a line. The left represents liberals while the right represents conservatives. Now let's divide the left side into two. To the far left we have extreme liberals. You know, the crazy blue-haired people who want to cancel you on Twitter because you refuse to believe there are 24,000 genders and custom pronouns. To their right we have moderate liberals, people who believe in freedom of speech, free markets, equality, etc. In the middle we have moderate people who understand and see the value offered by each ideology. To their right we have moderate conservatives, people who believe in the importance of things like the nuclear family, tradition, and religion. To the far right we have the even more crazy extreme conservatives who hate everyone else because they are weak, soft, and don't understand the value of family, religion, and tradition. They also have a tendency to slow things up. Okay, I know that things are starting to get a little bit out of control, but stick with me here because we are about to see the truth at last. So, we have just visualized both political ideologies on a line. Now, let's assume that you are a neutral person without much political knowledge. Which of the two political ideologies do you think you'll end up supporting? Are you going to become an extreme liberal? I think that's extremely unlikely. I just find it hard to believe that one day you are a neutral person with no political bias, and the next day you're sitting in the middle of a road blocking traffic while advocating for trans rights to use women's bathrooms. Their arguments are just a tad bit too extreme for someone who isn't extremely liberal already. Plus, if you disagree with a radical liberal or ask them to clarify their arguments, they tend to instantly call you fascist, racist, homophobic, Nazi, and anti-Semitic all in the span of 3 seconds, even though it doesn't make any sense. Now, I don't know about you, random person on the internet, but I don't think calling someone a Nazi is a good way to convince them of your arguments. In fact, I think it's a very, very good method to convince them of the opposing argument. So maybe you become an extreme conservative. Well, no. The same argument is valid here too. There is no way in hell one day you are a neutral person with no political bias, and the next day you're a member of ICE going on a trip in your favorite rocket ship cruising through the sky toward the nearest residential building. And again, their arguments are just way too extreme to sell to someone who isn't already extremely conservative. They are also not a big fan of discussion, preferring to call anyone who argues with them a weakling, a traitor, or a heretic. But what about moderate liberalism? Okay, now we're talking. I strongly believe that moderate liberals stand a good chance at convincing you of their arguments. I mean, I like affordable healthcare, education, reduced inequality, protection of individual freedoms, and addressing issues like mass incarceration and police brutality, and I know you do too. Similarly, moderate conservatives have some pretty awesome points, like yes, give me reduced national debt, lower taxes with a focus on maintaining necessary public service, sensible regulation to protect consumers, fair and effective criminal justice systems, and promotion of traditional family values and community cohesion, while being open to incremental social changes that reflect modern societal norms. So now that you and I, well mostly me, have established that both extremes are terrible in terms of recruitment, the only answer to the question why liberalism is going viral is that moderate liberals are better at marketing than moderate conservatives. And here are the reasons. For starters, and to no one's surprise, we have digital and social media influence. The rise of digital and social media platforms, mainly TikTok, has played a crucial role in amplifying liberal ideas. Pair that with the fact that the younger you are, the more likely you are to identify as liberal, and that young people are the dominant social media users, and it makes the perfect loop where young liberal people make content about how cool liberalism is. That content is then consumed by even younger people, making them liberal, which then leads to even more young liberal people making content about how cool liberalism is, and the circle continues, making the population more liberal each generation. Reason number 2, women. Women make up half the population, and they have always been very liberal, even before social media was a thing, because they tend to favor personal freedom and equality with men over more conservative ideas. Third is liberal countries exporting their ideologies using things like Hollywood, which is notoriously woke. And finally, censorship, which unfortunately has become a very true reality in our day and age, especially with the rise of cancel culture. Okay, we are nearing the end of the video, random person on the internet. We just have one more question to answer. That's why is not everyone liberal? So now would be a good time to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Anyways, this is going to be a quick one, so keep up. 1. Old people. As we grow old and learn more, we tend to slowly stop keeping up with trends and instead turn to the basics as we start valuing family and tradition more. 2. Extreme liberals. If your first experience with liberalism is being called a racist because you ask someone to explain their arguments, it's safe to say you will hate it. 3. Religion.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Religious people view a lot of liberal ideas as heresy. 4. Cancel culture and constant preaching of the message in Hollywood. People are simply starting to get sick of liberals canceling anyone who dares disagree with them, and are starting to view them, along with Hollywood, as annoying bullies for trying to force their ideas on everyone, which has recently caused companies like Disney to suffer failure after failure. And that's it. You now know why liberalism is going viral. Special thanks to Sydney Parker for commenting on the last video, and have a nice day.